Martha, you trust me, don't you?
Of course I do.
Because it all depends on you.
Welcome to About Time, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Stephen, and I've been a Doctor Who fan since 2005.
And I'm Ben, and I've never seen the show before.
Now we're watching and discussing every episode of the revived series, and quite frankly, it's about time. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay.
So, there's two reasons why I think we can dispense with the usual chit-chat today.
Yeah.
One is because we only recorded yesterday.
Yes.
And also, something unprecedented has just happened in this podcast.
Yeah.
So we sat down to watch Human Nature, and then with the idea of recording straight afterwards.
As we always do.
We got to the cliffhanger, and I turned it off, and Ben said, no, you've got to put the next one on straight away. I have to know what happens. And I said, well, shall we record first and then watch it? He's like, no, I need to see it now.
Yeah.
I've never known anything like it. You insisted that we watch straight on.
Safe to say I enjoyed it.
Safe to say you enjoyed it. Good. You see why it's my favourite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
Start with your notes.
Okay.
I've got many things to say.
I'm sure you have. It's quite a disorientating opening.
Yes. That's my least favourite bit.
Okay.
Is the opening.
Did you find it confusing?
It's a bit discombobulated because you've got a little start and then you definite cut but as soon as you realise that Martha's still got her memories and Martha's in control somewhat.
Yes.
You think, oh, okay, this is the Doctor's plan, and then you realise that he must be hiding. Once you've learned that.
Yeah.
It was a very strange and jarring opening.
Yeah, but that's deliberate.
Yeah, but
especially because it's like it ends up that bit's a dream, and then he wakes up from it. And do you know what your habit of predicting things? Mm. You probably don't remember this, but a few episodes ago, you went off on one and you suddenly said, imagine if one day we find out that all the Doctor's adventures were just like dreams in like a coma.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a man in a coma.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you've not hit the nail on the head, but you're very close to it with that.
Swing and miss.
Yeah. I just love that. So as I've said already, but I'm going to say it again, this two-parter is my favourite Doctor Who story of all time. I just think it's so strong. It's very different, which I like, but it's also, I don't know, it's just so well written, so emotional, so well acted. David Tennant is incredible in it. It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
David Tennant gives this performance as John Smith, but it feels like a Doctor Light episode because the Doctor is not in it. Even though David Tennant's still in the whole thing, feels like the Doctor's not there.
Yes. You don't have his quick wit. You don't have his scientific babble. You just have this very ordinary man who's falling in love.
Yeah. And David Tennant, as we know, is a really good actor.
Yes.
And he put his heart and soul into that man. Yes. John Smith. He didn't just, a lesser actor might have thought, okay, well, I'm playing the Doctor, I'm just gonna, phone it in and do the same old thing.
Yeah.
But he completely embodied that man who was not real. But
but the thing is, though, what I thought to myself, like, this must be really enjoyable because he doesn't have to do. If you love the craft and you love what you do, you love acting.
Yeah.
Then because he's already done a season and a half by this point. Yeah. So doing something different must have been like a fresh breath of air.
Yeah, and it's a challenge. It's an acting challenge. Yeah, I think I don't think he won any awards specifically for this, but I think he should have.
Yeah. I do think, you are very right. The acting in here is definitely solid. Yeah. I thought just the little ways that him and Joan were. Yeah. It didn't feel insta love.
No, it felt very realistic.
Yeah, it felt.
Even though they'd only been around like 2 months, 2 and a bit months.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very good as well.
Yes.
You know who she is?
No.
Do you not recognise her?
No. I recognise her, but I can't put her name.
It's Jessica Hines.
Oh,
She's in Years and Years and Bob and Rose.
Oh yeah, she's very good.
I would say she's more well known for comedy than for serious acting.
Yeah.
But she's phenomenal in this.
But the thing is though, comedy, you have to be able to read the room.
Yeah.
You have to be able to read emotions. You have to be able to read people.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying.
And so definitely. I think that lens. Yeah. I think that's why, especially in this country, we put, they're just in a comedy.
Yeah, people do tend to do that. They sort of shoehorn.
Yeah, you've got like Catherine Tate, who we speak a lot about on this podcast because we love her. Really strong actress and serious. You've got Miranda Hart, who is a good serious actress.
Yeah.
Like in
Call the Midwife. Yeah. I mean, in a way, comedy is the same. It's the same thing. You're telling a story. You've got to, got to be believable. Otherwise, if it's not believable, it's not funny. So, she was great. Yeah, I love her in everything that I see her in.
Yeah.
But she's so good in this.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I loved it. But I was a bit like, there are some things that I didn't love.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Bane, I did not like your performance.
No! Baines?
Yeah, it's a bit hammy.
Yeah, but all the family were.
Yeah.
And that's deliberate because of how they
are. What
are
they?
Well, we don't really know.
Gas.
They seem to have this sort of disembodied, gassy state, didn't they?
And they only live for 3 months.
Outside of a host body, they would, I think, yeah.
But the bodies that they're in, they're mortal bodies, so they would decay, and if their person's died, I don't know,
yeah. But no, I quite like all the families before. Well, particularly Baines and Jenny.
Yeah, they are the strongest too.
Yeah, because they managed to be scary and funny at the same time.
Yeah, it's Baines' eyes. It was like his eyes were like.
And they've
weird
got
camera angles.
Yeah, they've got this thing. I feel it's like because they're not used to being in physical bodies and like speaking with mouths and things. They've got this thing like it's almost like their mouths run away with them and they can't control them sometimes.
Yeah.
There's that bit where she says, "Oh, that's not funny, sir," and he just goes, "Oh, shut up! Stop talking! Cease and desist. There's a good girl."
Yeah.
And then there's the other bit where Jenny says, it's in part 2, but when she says about Jenny, she said, "Oh, she's dead." And she went, "With precious little dignity." All that, screaming.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, but disturbing as well.
It was, they were a bit, they were a bit like, they're a bit creepy.
Yeah.
And
I think they're brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't like Baines. I think Harry Lloyd, who plays him, I think he's one of the stars of the episode for me.
He's good. It was a bit, I don't know, it was just a bit manic. It was a bit like...
It was overwhelming for you.
Yeah, it was a bit cuckoo flying over the cuckoo nest.
Yeah. You liked Jenny.
I did at the beginning.
When she was real Jenny.
Yeah, when she was real Jenny, and I was thinking like, oh my God, maybe Jenny's become a companion.
I know.
I need to have this storyline where they pick up, as a few episodes, they pick up a cast.
Yeah.
They pick up an ensemble.
Yeah.
That's where Doctor Who goes wrong. It's too focused on two people. It needs to be focused on a bit of an ensemble cast so that there's storylines to play with.
Yeah.
And dynamics to play with.
Yeah.
Not just these two dynamics that have limited stories.
Yeah. It does vary.
Yeah.
Across the series. But yeah, I like Jenny. And again, I think she does a fantastic job at playing the different side of her character once she's been possessed.
Yeah.
Her eyes, when she's the possessed Jenny, her eyes are just bulging. It's like the man comes in and he's with the poster for the dance and he's like, "I think this might help." And her eyes are bulging and she's like, "That makes things easy, because daughter of man's already there." Amazing. And Baines, I know I'm just quoting lines, but when he discovers the ship in the woods and he's like, "I say hello, some kind of aeroplane."
Oh, yeah.
We said, wouldn't you just run away if you found that?
You wouldn't just walk into an unknown doorway.
An invisible door, yeah. I think you'd run away. But then he is an idiot. And he's an upper class, privileged posh twit. So nothing's ever hurt him. So he probably just thinks he can do what he likes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we talked about the Shakespeare Code, we talked about the way they handled the race issue, and then they approached it differently in this one.
Yeah, they weren't shy.
No,
about being racist.
Yeah, it's a very tricky one, isn't it? Because it's accurate to the time.
Yeah,
but part of me thinks if you're going to include it, there should be some like repercussion for it, or somehow them to be shown that they're wrong. But then I again don't want to stray too much to part two, but I think that scene she was going through the bones of the hand.
Yeah,
I suppose she gets put in her place there a bit. The Journal of Impossible Things.
Yeah,
I think it's quite beautiful.
Oh yeah, visually it's brilliant.
Yeah, the person, I don't know if they got an artist like to do it.
Rose's eye.
Yeah. I think you can, or you used to be able to buy a replica of that, but yeah.
Okay. Do you have it?
No, I never had it. I mean, I wouldn't mind having it, but yeah. But I just love this whole with the journal and these dreams he has and the stories. It kind of is quite meta, and it takes you out of the show a little bit and makes you think. It's like a comment on the show in a way. Like when he says about all these stories, and he has that line he says to Joan, it makes me think how wonderful life would be if stories like this were true. Of course, then he discovers that life isn't that wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he discovers that they are true.
Yes. What was your favourite bit of the first part?
Martha slapping the doctor.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
And
then she got dismissed.
Yeah.
And then she tried again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many. I feel like every scene is just so amazing.
Yeah. And then when she says, you fall in love with a human and it wasn't me.
I know. I love that bit.
I said that before she said it.
You did, yeah. It's painful, isn't it? If I can be personal for a moment, it reminds me of, as a gay man, like when you have a crush on a straight guy.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know, and I could just imagine if that happened, and me saying, just back in the day, saying like, oh, you had to go and fall in love with a guy, and it wasn't me.
Yeah.
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 It's relatable.
Yeah, it is very relatable. Like you're so blinded by your feelings that you can't comprehend that you are not what they want.
Yeah.
Like you understand that you are not what they want, but there's a small part of you hoping and wishing and praying that you will suddenly become what they want. But that's not how life works. And we are who we are. It's hard. It's a hard cycle. And living in your truth is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you think the doctor was a bit of a pompous prat though? Like I just felt like he took Martha to somewhere where he knew that she would not be treated well.
I think the doctor let the TARDIS choose randomly.
I don't think so. He has to set the TARDIS.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he has to get it, and then once it's in the place, he has to set it into emergency power mode.
True. Yeah, he had to do a lot actually, didn't he?
And then he has to do it. Then he has to be in the place, change his mind, then put it in emergency power mode.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but you took Martha to a place where she would get abused.
Yeah.
God knows what happened behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Because the early 1900s and beyond, let's just put it this way, life's not a friendly thing. And how she was spoken to,
I know,
was not nice at all.
No. And yeah, I guess what you're saying is that what we saw was a
glimpse,
cleaned up version.
Yeah, like you don't know, they could have called her all things under the sun.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she held her tongue because she knew that would keep her safe.
Yeah.
But then she stopped holding her tongue very quickly. Who was the headmaster?
So the actor's called Pip Torrens.
Oh, what's he been in?
Well, I know what I've seen him in, but I don't know what you'd have seen him in.
Now, this is going to be really controversial, but I think he's a bit of a dilf.
Oh, is he your hottie of the week?
Yeah, I think
he's Tommy from The Crown.
Oh, yes.
Tommy Lascelles.
I knew he looked familiar. And isn't that the school that they send Charles to? The same set?
Is it?
Isn't it the same set?
It might be. Off the top of my head, I don't know that. It could be.
Because the dorms look the same.
Oh,
and
maybe
the window.
Just all private schools in the first half of the 20th century look the same. Hello, this is Editing Stephen, just popping in to say that I've just fact-checked this, and it looks like it wasn't the same place. The School from Human Nature was filmed at Treberffydd House in Wales. Apologies for pronunciation there. Whereas The Crown used Woodchester Mansion in Gloucestershire. But yes, no, I forgot he was in The Crown.
Yeah, even as Tommy Lassell, he's quite attractive.
Okay, so he is
a DILF for me.
DILF of the week.
He's a bit like, he's no Pedro Pascal, but he is, yeah.
Okay.
Have a wide range.
Yeah. I think if I had to choose a hottie of the week, it's got to be Baines.
I knew that. Fucking knew it.
He's not like super my type, but
Stephen, it's a twink. Of course he's your type.
I'm just saying, if you put a gun to my head and I had to choose one, it would be him. But yeah,
we know where the young lad is from. Love Actually.
Yeah, he's a boy from Love Actually.
Yeah,
and Featherboy.
Featherboy.
Yeah.
What's Featherboy?
It was a thing. It was a book, and then it was made into a TV series. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, he is gonna be forever young.
Yeah, he never ages.
Yeah, he just is like, yeah.
So he goes by Thomas Brodie Sangster now. He used to just be Thomas Sangster. He's quite good.
Yeah, I think he's, for a childhood actor, I do think he is good. Like,
yeah,
he is. We have seen some dodgy acting skills.
Yeah.
Emma Watson. Emma Watson.
Yeah, and what about the girl who played Lucy Cartwright in this?
Oh, she was terrible.
Yeah.
Like just recast the girl that was turned into a fairy.
Oh, her.
She wasn't bad.
She was all right.
She was creepy as hell, though. She knows how to play creepy. Like, it's something for me, like, alien-possessed children are creepy AF.
They are.
They are, like, even, like, possessed children, like, in, like, exorcisms and, like, those type of horror movies, creep the frick out of me. Like, I, like, saw a film, and I think it's called Sinister.
Okay.
Where I think it's the bogeyman infects these children, and they then slaughter their family. They come up with these weird devices, a bit like Saw, to kill their families.
Sounds delightful.
Yeah, and like, it was just like, it was awful, and like, this man had his hand lopped off. Oh, it was not my type of thing. Like, I'm not a horror movie. I can deal with like jump scares. I can deal with like psychological thrillers, paranormal stuff, like Insidious. I can cope with Insidious.
Oh yeah. See, I find Insidious really scary.
Like, Insidious is scary, and it's meant to be scary, but I wouldn't go out my way to watch Saw.
Oh no, I've never watched any like that. I don't really like gore.
So
I assume Saw's gory.
My friend, when I was growing up, loved horror.
Ugh.
Absolutely loved horror. So any chance she would get to watch a horror film with her friends, she would. So I've watched Silent Night. Is it Silent Hill? Not Silent Night, that's a
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol. But thing is, then she started wanting to watch the Saws with me. Or I was over her house and she was watching Saws or whatever. And so just to prepare myself, I read the synopsis.
Yeah.
To know what was coming up. And so, like, I watched 1, and then I think I watched 2, and then I was just like, okay, I'm going to go home. And then I watched 8, and 8 nearly made me feel sick.
And how old were you when you were watching the first one?
Oh, I was probably about 17.
Oh, okay.
I was at college.
Yeah. How did we get onto that?
I don't know.
Anyway.
One of my favourite horror films, though, is, well, I know as Village of the Damned, but it's...
based on John Wyndham.
Yeah.
The Midwich Cuckoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that 90s TV movie, people think it's crap. I quite enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching it. I haven't read the book, but I sort of vaguely know what it's about.
I want to watch the new Sky version.
Oh, with Keeley Hawes in it.
I don't know that.
Yeah. Anyway.
I tell you who I did hate.
Who?
Hutchinson.
Oh yeah, he's a prick.
He's a knob. Yeah. And then he gets saved by the person he bullies.
Yeah, but that just makes him the bigger person. So, fun fact, which you might find interesting actually.
Yeah.
This story was originally written as a novel, a Doctor Who novel, and it was written during the time between Doctor Who being on air.
Oh.
And so it was written with a previous Doctor in mind.
Yeah.
And a different companion.
Yeah.
And then it got adapted into this.
Yeah, I will say this, like, good on them looking around the back history.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and we didn't talk about who wrote it. Paul Cornell, who wrote Father's Day.
Oh.
Remember Father's Day?
The one with the massive beast eating the church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well done, Paul Cornell.
Yeah. Would you prefer this over Father's Day?
100%.
Okay. Because I actually think Father's Day is very high for me. I can't remember how high it is for you.
I think it's in my top 10.
Yeah. Anyway, another line that always makes me laugh is, "Why can't I see you?" And they say, "Why would you want to see us?" And he goes, "I want to know what you look like."
What do they look like?
We don't know.
Are they last of their species?
I don't know. Maybe. They're quite mysterious.
And they're called the family blood.
The family of blood. Yeah.
But they're not blood.
Blood as
How
in
do they reproduce?
kith and kin, you know.
How do they reproduce?
I don't know.
Because if they need a host to survive,
Yeah.
then shouldn't the parents be dead?
I don't know. You're asking too complicated questions for me.
Sister, daughter, and mother of mine. Hello, my name's Baines. Jeremy Baines.
Yeah.
Oh, if anybody's listening and goes to Eton, can you tell me if you still go by your surnames?
Probably.
Like, oh, Lafferty. Oh, Hewitt Paul Jones. Hello.
So, yeah, so the Doctor used this thing, this chameleon arch, to rewrite his biology. It is a bit, even this is me saying this, but it's a bit far-fetched.
No.
Oh, do you not think so?
No.
Okay.
I think, like, this is what I'm on about. Technological advances that are plausible, but not plausible. That's what science fiction is for me. Like, it's taking science fiction to the nth degree and making things sound plausible. But when we know it's not plausible, that's what I love about science fiction.
Yeah, but you could say that about so many things that you in the past have complained about.
No, you couldn't.
Like the sonic screwdriver.
No. My thing about the sonic screwdriver is it's fucking convenient.
Yeah, because I'd rather have convenience and not have like a 5-hour episode when I could have a 45-minute episode.
No, there's other ways to get around stories without conveniality.
Anyway,
convenience.
We're not getting onto this again.
Like, what she was like, what is this?
Oh, I love that bit. I do, because it's his acting as well. When he sees it, you can see in his face, he knows what he recognises it.
Yeah.
But he refuses to admit it.
Yeah.
And that waltz, by the way, in the dance scene.
Yeah. It's not a waltz.
Oh, it is a waltz. It's a lovely piece of music.
Oh. Because we were watching something once and someone was waltzing and you was like, if you're going to waltz, actually play a waltz.
What was that?
I don't know, but if you said to me it wasn't a waltz.
That sounds like me.
Stephen can if you listen. We're in the car and I would like, Stephen was like, oh, this is different. This is 4/7. I don't know. As you can tell, I'm not a musician. What?
It just sounds so weird.
4/7, 4 beats in 7.
No, I might say like 7/8 or something as a time signature.
Oh.
Like 7 quavers in a bar, but yeah.
This is what I'm on about. You just go 7 quavers in a bar.
That's me, babes.
Just to make sure that everyone knows that you know.
Shut up.
But then you still have people on Twitter going, oh, but it's also this, blah, 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 blah. It's 7 Doritos and 3 Wotsits in a bar. What?
That was a good joke.
Oh.
Because quavers. Yeah, anyway.
Oh, I just realised why they're called quavers.
Why?
Because they look like quavers.
Not really.
The little squiggly things.
No, quavers aren't the little
What's
squiggly
that? What's that squiggly thing at the front?
That's a treble clef.
Oh, okay, maybe not then. Oh, I
Anyway.
thought I went like, I thought my mind had just went blom blom.
Yeah. Anyway.
But it didn't.
Let's get back on track.
Okay.
In the words of Baines, shut up, stop talking, cease and desist. There's a good Ben. What did you think of the scarecrows?
What? You can quote me, Stephen.
Well, this was part 2, you said this, so I don't know if you're allowed to say it now.
Oh. I will say it in this one because they are in this one episode.
Yeah.
something so simple is absolutely effective. It's really simple, but really, really effective.
It is really good.
They remind me of Oogie Boogie. Is it Oogie Boogie?
From
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Oogie Boogie.
Oingo Boingo.
No, Oogie Booger.
No, it is Oingo Boingo.
No, it's not.
Google.
Oogie Boogie.
Oh, that's a band. There's a band called Oingo Boingo.
Just do...
No, Elfman. Danny Elfman is something to do with them. So, but what are we talking about? Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, and I'm talking about the big boss that's in a sack.
Yeah.
Oogie Boogie. Oogie Boogie.
It is Oogie Boogie.
Oh, that's right. Look at that pod. I was right.
Wow.
Yeah, they looked like him.
Okay.
Like, they looked menacing and they looked a bit...
The sack heads did look like him.
Yeah. And like...
But their clothes are very, 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 very similar to the outfit of the Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz in the movie.
Really?
No, they genuinely are. If you look at them side by side, they're wearing basically identical, down to like the colour of the tunic and the rope around the waist and the trousers.
Maybe that's just how scarecrows look.
Maybe, or it was a reference.
I don't think so.
There's that bit when Tim goes to get a book from John Smith from his study.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the little kleptomaniac.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and later in part 2, he's like, maybe I was given this watch so I can help. It's like, bitch, you weren't given it. You stole it.
You stole it. And your mid-psychic powers allowed you to listen to its voice. And so it was a bit like Harry's egg. So, oh, fuck, I need £1. But it's a... I don't mind putting £1 in because we said we'll do a donation, but...
No, it's... Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit like his egg. You open it, and the light comes out, and
maybe
it screeches.
Okay, maybe. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah.
But that's why I'm here.
Okay. No, I was just going to say, I think it's really cleverly written how John Smith's talking to him about how he's keeping his head down in class, and he's hiding his cleverness because he doesn't want to be bullied. And that is such an analogy to what the Doctor's doing, like hiding himself.
Yeah, because I think he's an alien.
What's him?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He's a human.
He's psychic.
Yeah, he just happened to be born with a bit of psychic ability. It happens sometimes. Like Gwyneth in The Unquiet Dead. Hers was exacerbated by living on the Rift, but she was still born with an ability.
Get him to the Rift, that's what I say.
You've got that scene where the Doctor stops the piano from falling on that woman's baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's a weird scene. I like it.
Yeah.
But it is weird.
I think it was to show, I personally think, like, the Doctor's fighting to come back out.
Yeah.
Like, his reactions, his ability to assess danger is still there.
Exactly, yeah. It's like all the doctoriness got put in the watch, but you can't get all of it out of him. There's still some residual.
Yeah, his personality, he took away his Time Lordiness. This is the thing that I don't understand. Like, he took away his Time Lordiness, his Time Lord thing, and became human, yeah? Why does his memory have to go with him?
That's just how the technology works, I guess.
Oh.
I mean, what better disguise than, if you don't even know you're hiding?
Yeah, I did think that was good. And also, like, he was fantastic in this episode.
He was. What I was going to say about that scene where he stops the piano is it reminds me of Mousetrap, the board game.
Can't remember.
Did you never play it?
We used to have it. I can't remember it.
I don't remember much about it, but I know there's all these little bits, all these little things that link together.
Yeah.
And like, so the shoe will kick this, which does something, which does that, which does that.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the end it comes down and this cage goes on the mouse.
But don't you think...
It's like a chain reaction.
I think I remember it, but wasn't it a fucking pain to set up?
Oh, it was, yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch it. I didn't play it very much. I used to love this thing. Like, as a kid, I could never do it. So basically, you had this little ball bearing, and you had to get the little ball bearing, like, you had all these buttons along the front, and you had to get it, like, across a bridge, then you had to hop it across the stones, then you had to move it through things, and you had to... It was a little, like, adventure course with the ball bearing.
Right.
And I can't remember what it was called. As a kid, I could never do it.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I saw one in the charity shop.
Yeah.
And I played it, and I got it... The first time, I got it to the end.
You played it in the charity shop?
Yeah. I wasn't going to buy it. I brought other things because I go to charity shop. And in the charity shop down the road, they have a TARDIS board game.
A TARDIS board game?
A Doctor Who board game.
Right.
Yeah.
What was on the cover?
The Doctor and the Dalek.
Which Doctor?
Tennant.
Oh, of course. If it's merchandise, it's probably going to be David Tennant.
Yeah.
Nice little reference when she was asking him about his parents, and he said his father Sidney and his mother Verity. They're named after Sidney Newman and Verity Lambert, who basically started Doctor Who.
Oh.
Sidney Newman came up with the idea, and Verity Lambert was the producer for the first couple of years.
Oh.
And you'll see them in the docudrama that we're going to watch for the anniversary. I was saying about how I love Jenny's performance, particularly when she's possessed. One of my favourite scenes, because I find it hilarious, is the tea scene when Martha's trying to test if Jenny is herself or not. And she's like, I could put a nice bit of gravy in the pot and some sardines and jam. How about that? And Jenny's like, I like the sound of that.
Bitch, you don't even know what that is.
Yeah, but then the funniest bit is Martha. I don't think Martha is a very good liar or very good at, like, keeping her cool.
No.
Because she's like, right, hang on a tick. And then she, like, tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. And then as soon as she's, like, 3 steps away, she goes, clump, 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 running away. It's like,
right.
You could have been a bit more subtle about it.
Yeah, but that was not a good TV.
No, it's not, but it just makes me laugh the way she tiptoe, and then clump, 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 clump.
Jenny says, do you want some tea, Jenny? I said, yes. It's right in front of you, Jenny. Have a sip.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like, I just want to know what they look like.
Well, they're disembodied. They're non-corporeal, I think.
Gas.
Yeah. They're basically like the sex gas from Torchwood, but green instead of pink.
They're like, oh, we've got this CGI now. I'm better use it again.
Basically. Oh, yeah. I started talking about the waltz, and then you went off on how I fancy about music. Yeah. But all I was going to say was I love that tune, and just on another personal note, I used to play that on the keyboard, and my nana absolutely loved that tune.
Aww.
And she always used to ask me to play it. She was just say, can you do the waltz from Doctor Who?
Aww.
And she'd never seen the episode. She knew nothing about Doctor Who, but she loved that piece of music and she loved hearing me play it.
Your nana was your number one fan.
I know. Bless.
Yeah.
The thing that it's very easy to forget, but John Smith is not the Doctor, and they go to some lengths to remind you that. Like the fact when Latimer's not doing very well with the shooting, and the other boys are like, permission to give him a beating. And John Smith says, permission granted. The Doctor would never allow that.
No.
But you see very clearly that it's not him.
Yeah. And I quite like John.
I know. I mean, he has his flaws.
Yeah. But he's human.
Yes.
Hence the title.
Yes.
Like, he is very human, and he's, like, at that time, teachers did do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a student would give the beating. Like, that would be, I don't think, called for. But, like,
I think because they were older students, they sort of...
helped out.
They would
with the
discipline the younger ones, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. And the other bit that sticks in my mind for just John Smith being an absolute twat is when Martha's trying to say to him about the watch and everything, and he's like, oh, cultural differences. It's Martha, this is what we call a story.
Yeah.
Like, but the way she's like, oh, you complete. And then she's like, this is not you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you know what I liked?
Yeah.
Jenny just liked Martha.
Yeah, their friendship was so sweet and wholesome.
Yeah, and it was like Jenny and her, like Jenny, I don't know, she just felt genuinely liked Martha.
Yeah, which makes it all the sadder when she gets killed.
Yeah.
Absorbed. You said during that scene outside the pub, you said, oh, I like Jenny, and then you went, shame she's going to die. I mean, you say that about pretty much every character you like, but...
Let me put it this way, Stephen. Last episode, they popped them off like clogs. This episode, they popped them off like clogs.
That's not the saying.
Like, I was just like, can you not let me have one person I like?
I know.
Like, Jenny would have been hilarious, like, in a panicky situation. Yeah. Like, she would have added so much.
I don't know how useful she'd be, though.
She wouldn't have been, but she'd be funny.
Okay.
She's like, I put a pot of kettle on. I put a kettle of pot on. No.
No, let's not do that. You know that bit when the scarecrow surrounded her on her bike?
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, who's that playing Silly Beggars? Oh,
Did you say
that?
silly beggars?
Beggars, yeah.
That's not the phrase.
It is an outtake where she says, who's that playing Silly Buggers? And then she goes, oh no, I can't say that for the kids, can I? And then they stood to go and do it again.
You can't, Jenny. You really can't. She reminded me of your friend.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sarah should totally be on Doctor Who.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, literally, as I said before, this is just scene after scene of gold, in my opinion. But that final scene of episode 1, the cliffhanger, is probably my favourite cliffhanger in all of Doctor Who, I think. Yeah. Like, it's, I don't know, I can't explain it. I just think it's the concept of this man, John Smith, who really genuinely believes he's real.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine how you'd feel if someone turned to you and said, actually, you thought you were Ben this whole time. You're not. That's all been a lie. There's something else inside you that you're meant to be. Yeah. Like, it would be terrifying, and you wouldn't want to know. Yeah. And the way he sells it, like, and the music as well, like this rising sort of do, and he's like, your friend or your lover, your choice. Yeah, it's just gold, and I don't blame you for saying put the next one on straight away, because that's how I feel. Like,
the thing is though, like, I had to know, like, how this, and this is how a two-parters should be done. Yeah, perfectly paced, not perfectly paced, but paced well enough that we've got a lot of nice juicy information in part 1 that is getting us all ready, and then that's when you cut it off. Like, we've got enough of the aliens. We had enough of the aliens. We had the aliens from probably, a quarter into the way? Yeah. Like, 3/4 of this, we had aliens in it. And we knew who the alien was, but he was hunting the Doctor. No, that was good, because we felt like, this has got a point now. We know where the enemy is. Where a lot of them hide the enemy until their halfway point. Yes. Where this is greater, because the enemy is also hiding in plain sight. Yeah. They're both hiding. It's a game of hide and seek. Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah. Okay, I don't need to look at the list.
It's number 1.
It is going to be number 1 for this episode.
Yeah, gives a suggestion as to where the next one's going. Okay, so Human Nature number 1. Yeah. Same for me. Human Nature number 1. I don't have to look at the list.
Yeah. It's gritty enough. It holds your attention. The acting is phenomenal. Yeah. Like, even Freema is like stepped it up a notch in this episode. Like it was those. You had some duds. You had the farmer, which was a dud. Some of the boys were a dud. Yeah. The guy who played Tommy Lassell, he was good. Yeah. Something about those eyes.
Yeah. This won't mean anything to you, but for listeners who know the Brigadier, I always think Pip Torran's voice sounds like the Brigadier.
Who's Pip Torran?
That was the headmaster.
Oh, his name Pip?
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's it for Human Nature.
Human Nature is done.
I think the plan now is for us to stop recording and then go straight on and record the next one. But unfortunately, to listeners, you'll have to wait a week to hear it. But yeah, I mean, let us know what your thoughts are on Human Nature. I think it's generally a pretty popular one, although some people I know don't like it or have issues with it. Yeah. Oh. There'll be every episode someone hates.
And someone loves.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for listening. And from our point of view, we'll see you in a few minutes. And in your point of view, we'll see you in a week. So until next time,
stay fantastic. Beep, 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 beep.